Hey there, I'm the Foxboy Axe with the Sonic Facts, ya heard? And today we are going to be talking about some of the new footage that we've gotten from the Sonic Movie 3 stuff. A new trailer just dropped. I had been working on two other videos that have been taking me just a little bit of time, based around Sonic X Shadow Generations. That came out a month ago already. And also another one based around meeting the voice actors, 10 voice actors, and it's just been taking me a lot of time, a lot of stuff is getting in the way, so I'm just going to go ahead and react to this instead. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, maybe a lot of spoilery stuff, so you've been warned, there will be timestamps. This video also only revolves around the handful of TV spots immediately following the second trailer. After that, I'm probably just gonna stay away from any new clips that we've gotten or will get because the movie's coming out soon, I don't want to ruin it. But basically, this is all the stuff that I've noticed so far. The initial trailer actually didn't get me all that hyped at first. So let's start with the initial Sonic Movie 3 trailer number 2. First we get the Chao Garden. Knuckles calls it the Den of Madness, as in the Chao Garden of Madness. I think it's interesting that they're making a Detective Pikachu joke when the movie came out around the time of the first movie. Like, it's funny, but it is kind of random. Also, that means Nintendo exists in this universe. I think it's neat that all the Chao artwork here is basically from the games themselves and not just original Chao artwork. In fact, one of those pins on the girl's backpack strap is basically just cheese. I can imagine if Cream ever shows up in this universe, she'll just be a fan of the Chao. But wait, maybe the Chao are actually, creatures that exist in this universe? Maybe there's something going on here. Why do I say that? If you look right here, you see that the place is very much themed after Green Hill Zone. Not Green Hill, Montana, in the movie universe where Tom lives, but the place, the island, South Island, where Sonic actually comes from. Furthermore, I think it's odd that we have a Knights Chao, unless Knights also exist in this universe somehow, some kind of fictional thing, or like a fairy tale. And they had the guts to include a Knuckles Chao in the background. One thing that I noticed is that Knuckles is actually adapting to Earth quite quickly, it's just he's not adapting to the lifestyle. Maybe he is adapting faster since the show. I also think it's odd that people say that Knuckles is like Drax. He's not like Drax at all. Drax doesn't understand figurative speech. Knuckles does.
He does look like a Pokemon.
The only similarity is that Knuckles is like this tough warrior, but he's like so tough in a comedic way. If anything, to me, he's more like Thor. And I also really like that Tails is unamused. I don't know why, but somewhat snarky Tails is always hilarious to me. So these are egg drones that are attacking them at the Chao Garden, so this is definitely before they even teamed up with them to begin with. A lot of people have pointed out that this is kind of similar to the scene from Sonic Adventure 2 when Sonic is surrounded. Regardless, it looks really cool. We get a shot of Gerald being in prison and he is scribbling all over the walls. And this looks to be the Arc, but with the extended points that lead to the Eclipse Cannon. And a lot of people didn't think that this was the Arc, but clearly it is. It's shaped kind of like the Arc, and maybe it looks a little smaller than the one from the game, but this is huge. It's almost the size of this whole bridge. Look how big it is compared to some of these buildings. Like this building over here, or this place here. Like, what the heck? This is huge. It's a whole freaking campus. I will say this trailer didn't hype me as much as the first one. It was a little bit goofy, and like this.
Konnichiwa?
And I get all the movies were comedic, and that I do like actually, and it's a little bit kiddish, but the problem was that this was supposed to be a step towards being a little darker, and I feel like the comedy took a step being lighter. Taking a step towards that Sonic Colors humor didn't really do it for me. Like this here, like Sonic saying there's two Eggmen now, like, oh, okay.
W villains, W fun.
I'm also not sure why Sonic is being so stupid. Like, okay, he obviously the marble's gonna do something, and our three heroes are tied up and about to get sucked into that black hole whenever Sonic does a trick shot, apparently. Honestly, that part's fine by me, but I could have done without Sonic actually saying trick shot. Hey, maybe he won't in the actual movie. Not to mention that it's followed up by this moment here.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret
We're in.
Like I said, maybe it just depends on whatever else is going on right before and right after it to make the joke actually land. It was kind of funny for the trailer. I don't know. I'm a little mixed on it actually. I will say this: Knuckles was knocked out. He woke up and then he saw something and decided to reach for it with his mouth, which I don't know how he's doing that, but you know, it's Knuckles. But in the Chao Garden, they get attacked with these missiles directly, which is very dangerous. There's kids and humans in here. So there's a part of me that's thinking that, you know, well, it's going to balance out somehow. Even though I think it's really goofy, there's some really cool stuff here too.
Finally, we will have.
Oh my gosh. Look at my boy skate. One of the really great things about the skate is I'm somebody who's really into Shadow's skating animation in Sonic Adventure 2. I just thought it looked really cool. And every game since then, like sometimes it's like okay, but it's got no style to it. On the Hedgehog Zone, my co-host Geo hates that I'm always talking about the skating animation, but look at this! And this shot here actually kind of made me think of the fan film a little bit, just the weird composition of them standing there, like their lack of shadows was a little bit jarring to me. Also, I'm glad to see Eggman with the game accurate jacket, except the collar is a bit high. And I think it's also really cool that Gerald has one as well. I'm glad that Ivro Robotnik has the penguin tail, but it's really long and it just makes him look skinny again. On top of the fact that he just doesn't look like he's wearing a fat suit really, except when he's playing Gerald. Gerald also has the bigger mustache, so really Gerald looks more like Eggman than Robotnik does. I kind of wish that they switched places because he's clearly wearing a fat suit as Robotnik as well, but what was the point? He looks the same. Also, I'm not really sure I get Jim Carrey's antics sometimes for this movie. Like, why did he just wind up his hand other than to just be Jim Carrey? At the end of the trailer, we get this here where I believe he's having a fantasy about Gerald. I don't think that's actually happening. Also, see, look, he's fatter than Robotnik. That looks more like Eggman, but don't get me wrong, this shot looks pretty cool. We have this nice moment of Sonic hugging Knuckles, when clearly he meant to give him a power bump, as they call it. I don't know what happened, but something must have really gone on here. They are ragged. Like, this could be a moment where Sonic realizes, oh, I have my people. We are a team. In contrast to Shadow, who has nothing but a broken reflection of himself, which itself is a contrast of the past, where he also had people, but he lost it. Funny thing is, this shot of Shadow and Maria in the flower field reminds me a lot of Dark Beginnings, which is weird because they worked on this without knowing anything about the movie, and I imagine that the movie didn't know anything about this either, so it has to be a coincidence. So originally, we were all wondering, why is Tom wearing a gun outfit whenever he's yelling Sonic's name in the first trailer? But then we have that item box that some Sonic tubers got where you could look at all the different characters and you see Rachel also wearing the outfit, and then you realize, okay, they're all doing an undercover type thing or whatever's going on. Tails has a jetpack to make him go a little faster, that's cool. There's a shot that reminds me of Sonic Heroes. We can see that Shadow is running around in a loop, which is powering the Ark's laser.
I come to make an announcement.
Here comes the Eclipse Cannon.
I'm pissing on the moon.
Somebody better call Google Maps.
Can we just talk about this for a second? It is crazy that they even included this, because not only is it something like faithful and referencing Sonic Adventure 2, the main story that this movie takes from, but also this is a large-scale threat, I guess? Oh, don't mind Shadow, he just has a gun. So that was a big deal for a lot of people, and it's a laser gun, so they found a way to do it without it being too dark. It's not like a pew-pew, it's more like a pew-pew. But at least they did it, which is weird because I always thought it was a dumb idea to give them guns in the games, and I don't know why people wanted to see it so badly. But the fact that they did it, I'm like, okay, fine, you win. So a lot of people have already pointed out that Sonic sounded pretty angry in this moment. It's not the only time, he also sounded kind of angry in a moment in the first trailer as well. I don't know why, but this shot of Shadow kind of makes me think of Star Wars. Remember when people thought Hayden Christensen was going to voice Shadow? Just a reminder to use the timestamps before I start talking about spoilers. So yeah, this shot here looks like this place is actually where they find the Chaos Emeralds. I guess all of them together? You can see it in Sonic's eyes, the reflection of all 7 emeralds.
Finally, I will have my revenge.
Well, when I heard that Keanu Reeves wanted to play Shadow, I said, oh,
All right, so let's talk about the Keanu Reeves interview featurette.
For 50 years, Shadow's been in a state of suspended animation. He's coming out of it seeking revenge.
Shadow has that sympathetic, brooding kind of darkness that Keanu has mastered so brilliantly.
Also, forgot to mention that this goofy looking shot of Shadow, unfortunately, looks to be when Shadow loses Maria.
He looks just like you.
Impossible.
You're a colorful bunch.
I'm really glad that they actually included that comment, even if it's not a major plot point. So to the casual audience, they needed something to specify that even amongst them, Shadow is a lot like Sonic, specifically.
Another thinking hedgehog.
Okay, so now here comes two really big things.
Another thinking hedgehog.
Oh, who is this that Eggman is saying what to so angrily? Oh, it looks like Gerald. And we got this. Looks like the Ark with the Eclipse cannon pointed at the Earth. There's Super Sonic and Super Shadow. You see two glowing dots there. As a matter of fact, one of the glowing dots is even a lighter color. For all we know, this is why they missed the Earth and end up hitting the moon instead, rather than hitting the moon at first and then doing this later.
Holy crap.
You kidding?
Whoa.
Whoa.
What?
What? Konichi, what?
Yes, good. You've been listening.
Not really much to say about this one. I wonder what Tails is saying whoa to?
What?
Why does Shadow say what? We've got another TV spot here that wasn't even in English, so it doesn't really matter too much. We got a new shot from behind Shadow. Beatles reference.
Nos van a odiar los de Google Maps. ¡Ey, sin trampas!
I thought this was pretty cool right here that he's holding onto the bike.
Fuerte quiero golpearte.
We got another TV spot called Choose Your Character.
Together,
A little blurry.
we can't handle. What?
Looks like this shot here of Shadow kicking Sonic and Tails, they meant to make it seem like Knuckles had already been attacked and was somewhere else. So it definitely shows that they are manipulating some scenes, which makes me think, you know, if people think that some of these shots look like they're missing characters, I'm not so sure, but it's definitely possible because they are manipulating the trailers. So I don't know what all this is. This kind of reminds me of the hand from Lava Reef or, you know, the Death Egg robot from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Definitely unexpected, but who's he going to be swiping? Somebody on the ship?
There is a situation unfolding. They're requesting Team Sonic's assistance.
Oh look, it's Captain Rockwell. This is Kristen Ritter, the actress that people thought was going to be playing Rouge the Bat. Instead, they confirmed a long time ago that she's playing Captain Rockwell, and people still seem to be surprised by this character's inclusion, as if people have been forgetting that she's in the movie. They're like, who's that? Reasonable enough, why is she in the movie?
Chest bump?
No.
It seems to me more like he's kind of a disappointment to Robotnik. So this shot shows that Tails is really into whatever's going on at the Chow Garden. I don't know what has Commander Walters so upset, maybe because they're not really paying attention. I think it's pretty lucky that Sonic noticed all those drones behind them since they were facing the opposite direction.
Uh-oh.
Check, please.
It's time, Shadow.
Again, another clean shot of Shadow.
I will destroy this planet.
Also a really good shot of Sonic.
No matter what's coming. As long as we stick together.
What's going on here?
We can save everyone.
Okay, so now we know what he was yelling about. It looks like they are pulled to the floor gravitationally, I guess, maybe because the ship is rising.
When I'm done, there won't be anything left.
Nothing scares a warrior.
Do you remember what happened last movie night?
There's no such thing as a friendly ghost.
I did think that one moment was pretty funny when they were talking about the movie that I guess Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles were watching, which was clearly Casper. And I guess he was just squeezing their hands really tight, so that's... oof. Well,
Sonic 3.
also, I remember somebody had like this theory of what if Rouge is in the movie, but she's actually using some kind of cloaking device that makes her look like a human or something. You know, like that's ridiculous, but I'm sure people would be happy just to include Rouge, however ridiculous it is. So I think it's possible a little bit. Actually, a little bit more than I used to, only because
Body swapping.
Good work. Who am I?
yeah, that's pretty wild that even was included. He has the eyes of like the anthro furry characters. So, who's to say that, you know, I mean, maybe.
Can't take us all at once. Okay, he took us all at once.
Hey, reference.
Show me what you
This
got.
is a pretty cool shot.
The earth shaking. Beat making.
They're on the same side in this shot. Also, this shot comes right after the shot of the moon being hit. So, are they connected? Actually, it would make sense. The arc is tilted. But yeah, that's all that I've really got regarding all the trailers and TV spots. And again, I'm not going to be covering it too much unless something really significant happens. Looking forward to the movie. It comes out in a little over a week. So yeah, hope you guys are looking forward to the movies. And also, Mufasa who?
Long live the king.
I'm out of here.